What happens when two of the most influential women in the royal family collide? Princess Anne, famed for her unfiltered honesty, has often sparked speculation about her dynamic with Queen Camilla. Was Anne's skepticism rooted in loyalty to Diana, concerns about the monarchy's image, or something deeper? As Camilla rose from controversy to queen consort, their relationship became a lens into the tensions between tradition and progress. But was Anne's doubt justified? Has Camilla proven herself? And what do their interactions reveal about the complexities of royal life? Let's uncover the truth. The royal family has always been a subject of fascination, with its traditions, glamour, and occasional scandals captivating the public. But behind the polished smiles and carefully staged photographs lies a web of complex relationships. Among these, the dynamic between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla stands out, not just for its tension, but for how it played out in the public eye. Princess Anne has never been one to hold back her opinions. Known for her no-nonsense attitude and devotion to royal duty, Anne has long been a cornerstone of the monarchy. Camilla's entrance into the royal family, however, brought with it a whirlwind of controversy. Her history with Charles and the shadow of Diana made her journey to acceptance anything but smooth. Yet while Charles may have found solace in Camilla, Anne saw things differently. To her, Camilla represented not only a disruption to the royal family, but also a potential risk to the institution's carefully guarded reputation. The tension between them didn't remain hidden for long. At a royal event in the early 2000s, Anne's reaction to Camilla made headlines. It wasn't anything overt. Anne is far too disciplined for that, but her cold demeanor said enough. Camilla, trying to navigate the treacherous waters of royal life, found herself on the receiving end of Anne's frosty attitude. For those in attendance, it was clear that Anne wasn't entirely on board with Camilla's increasing presence within the royal fold. Publicly, the moment may have seemed insignificant, a minor interaction captured by sharp-eyed photographers. But to royal watchers and insiders, it was a reflection of deeper tensions. Anne's loyalty to Diana, her skepticism of Camilla's intentions, and her belief in the monarchy's moral compass were all at play. Camilla's past wasn't just a tabloid story to Anne. It was a potential threat to the stability of the family she'd dedicated her life to serving. The press, of course, was quick to pick up on the narrative. Speculation swirled about Anne's true feelings toward Camilla, and the media latched onto every perceived slight or awkward moment between the two women. It didn't help that Camilla, still struggling to win public approval, found herself constantly compared to Diana. For Anne, who had always prioritized discretion and discipline, this media circus was yet another reason to question Camilla's place within the royal family. But Anne's concerns weren't just about public perception. She understood the pressures of royal life better than most, having spent her entire existence in the spotlight. To her, being a member of the royal family wasn't about personal happiness. It was about duty, sacrifice, and preserving the monarchy's image. Camilla's history, particularly the infamous affair with Charles during his marriage to Diana, cast a long shadow. Anne worried that Camilla's past might not only taint Charles's reputation, but also undermine the monarchy's integrity in the eyes of the British public. These fears weren't entirely unfounded. The memory of Diana's heartache and her candid admissions about Charles's infidelity loomed large in the public consciousness. Diana's infamous comment, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," wasn't just a soundbite. It was a dagger to the fairy tale narrative the royal family had carefully cultivated. Anne, ever the realist, recognized the damage that had already been done and the uphill battle Camilla faced in trying to repair it. Despite the underlying tensions, there were moments when Anne and Camilla were forced to put on a united front. Royal events required them to stand side by side, smiling for the cameras, even as unspoken tensions lingered beneath the surface. To the public, these moments were often dissected endlessly, with body language experts weighing in on every glance and gesture. For the royal family, however, these appearances were a reminder that unity, whether real or staged, was essential to their survival. As Camilla's role in Charles's life grew more prominent, so did her presence at key royal events. This gradual integration wasn't without its challenges. For Anne, who had long been a staunch defender of tradition, the sight of Camilla stepping into the royal spotlight was a difficult adjustment. It wasn't just about personal feelings. It was about what Camilla represented, a break from the past and a challenge to the monarchy's carefully maintained image. Anne's reservations weren't limited to private moments or subtle gestures. At times, they bubbled to the surface in ways that couldn't be ignored. One such instance occurred during a formal dinner, where Anne's cool interaction with Camilla raised eyebrows among guests. While the specifics of their exchange remained private, the mood was unmistakable. Anne's pointed lack of warmth stood in stark contrast to the cordial atmosphere expected at such events. For those close to the royal family, this was just another chapter in an ongoing saga. Anne's dedication to royal duty had always been unwavering, and she held others to the same high standards she set for herself. Camilla, still navigating her own path within the family, seemed to represent everything Anne viewed with skepticism, controversy, media scrutiny, and a departure from tradition. Yet, even as Anne's disapproval simmered, there were glimpses of a deeper complexity to their relationship. Both women, in their own ways, were navigating the immense pressures of royal life. Camilla's journey from scandal to acceptance was unprecedented, while Anne's steadfastness in the face of changing times remained a constant. Their interactions, fraught as they were, reflected not just personal differences, but the larger challenges facing the monarchy in an ever-changing world. As the years passed, their dynamic continued to evolve. Anne's initial resistance to Camilla's role within the family softened in some respects, though the underlying tensions never fully disappeared. Camilla, for her part, worked tirelessly to carve out her place, striving to win the approval not only of the public, but also of the royal family itself. It was a delicate balance, one that required navigating Anne's skepticism with the same grace she brought to her public appearances. Still, the question lingered. Could Camilla ever truly win over Princess Anne? The answer wasn't simple, nor was it one that could be resolved with time alone. Anne's concerns were rooted not just in personal loyalty or tradition, but in a broader understanding of what the monarchy represented. For her, every decision, every interaction carried weight, both within the family and in the eyes of the world. As the years unfolded, Camilla's presence within the royal family became increasingly prominent, a reality that was both inevitable and carefully managed. For some, her journey from private citizen to a visible member of the monarchy was a testament to resilience. For others, it was a reminder of unresolved tensions, particularly those tied to Diana's legacy. Amid this delicate balancing act, Princess Anne's skepticism remained a quiet yet persistent undercurrent. One notable event that highlighted this tension occurred during a formal state dinner. The occasion was meant to celebrate diplomatic ties, with the entire royal family present to embody unity and decorum. Camilla, by this point, was stepping more confidently into her role as Charles's partner. Her smile, though slightly strained, reflected her awareness of the scrutiny she faced. Anne, ever the stoic, maintained her usual composed demeanor. However, to those observing closely, there was an unmistakable sense of detachment in her interactions with Camilla. At one point during the evening, the seating arrangement sparked subtle murmurs among the guests. Camilla and Anne, seated within conversational range, exchanged only the briefest of words. Their body language, analyzed endlessly by the media afterward, suggested a deliberate distance. For Anne, this was no theatrical performance. Her measured politeness was a reflection of her approach to royal duty, a professional obligation rather than a personal endorsement. Such moments weren't new to the royal family. For years, their public appearances had been a masterclass in maintaining composure under the relentless gaze of cameras. Yet, in the case of Anne and Camilla, even the slightest misstep or perceived slight carried weight. The press, always eager for a story, wasted no time spinning narratives about lingering tensions. For Anne, who valued privacy and discretion above all, this tabloid frenzy was another reason to tread carefully around Camilla. The less fuel she gave to the media, the better. But behind the scenes, the dynamics were far more intricate. Anne's skepticism wasn't born solely out of loyalty to Diana or concerns about public perception. It was also deeply tied to her understanding of what it meant to be a royal. Anne had spent her entire life upholding the values of duty, discipline, and service. To her, these weren't just words, they were the foundation of the monarchy's relevance. Camilla's past controversies, particularly the widely publicized affair with Charles, stood in stark contrast to these principles. For Camilla, this scrutiny was both a challenge and an opportunity. She knew that earning Anne's respect required more than just fulfilling ceremonial duties. It demanded a demonstration of loyalty to the institution, a commitment to its future, and the ability to weather criticism without faltering. Over time, she began to show these qualities, though the journey was anything but smooth. The media's role in shaping public perception cannot be overstated. Every royal engagement, every interaction between Anne and Camilla became a potential headline. One particularly memorable moment came during a charity event where both women were in attendance. The event, intended to highlight the monarchy's philanthropic efforts, quickly turned into a spectacle as photographers captured a fleeting exchange between Anne and Camilla. The images, though innocuous in isolation, were accompanied by captions speculating on Anne's true feelings. "Frosty or formal?" one headline asked, encapsulating the ongoing narrative of tension. These public moments were often a double-edged sword. On one hand, they reinforced the monarchy's image as a unified entity. On the other, they exposed the very human dynamics within the family, dynamics that weren't always harmonious. For Anne, who placed immense value on professionalism, this was a delicate line to walk. For Camilla, it was a reminder of the scrutiny she faced at every turn. Yet even amid these challenges, there were signs of progress. Camilla's efforts to support Charles and fulfill her royal duties began to win over skeptics, both within the family and beyond. Anne, while maintaining her guarded stance, showed moments of subtle acknowledgement. At a garden party hosted by the royal family, the two women were seen engaging in a conversation that, though brief, appeared cordial. It wasn't a breakthrough, but it was a step forward, one that didn't go unnoticed by those present. For the monarchy, these small victories mattered. The institution was navigating a rapidly changing world, one where tradition often clashed with modern expectations. Camilla's integration into the royal family symbolized this transition, a blending of the old and the new. Anne's role, meanwhile, remained one of steadfastness, a constant amid the shifting tides. The challenges of balancing public and private lives were perhaps most evident during major royal events. Weddings, jubilees, and other ceremonies demanded a level of coordination and unity that left little room for personal grievances. For Anne and Camilla, these occasions were both a test and an opportunity. The public expected cohesion, and the family's ability to deliver it was crucial to maintaining their image. One such event, held at Windsor Castle, exemplified this balancing act. The gathering brought together dignitaries, family members, and close friends in celebration of the monarchy's enduring legacy. Camilla, now more confident in her role, greeted guests with ease. Anne, as always, performed her duties with precision. The two women, though rarely seen side by side, contributed to the event's success in their own ways. Still, the question lingered. Had Anne truly accepted Camilla as part of the royal family? For those observing from the outside, the answer wasn't clear. Their interactions, while civil, lacked the warmth that characterized other family relationships. But for the monarchy, this civility was enough. In a world where public perception often mattered more than private realities, maintaining appearances was an achievement in itself. As Camilla continued her journey toward acceptance, Anne's role as a quiet skeptic remained unchanged. Yet this skepticism wasn't without purpose. For Anne, it was a reflection of her commitment to the monarchy's values and her belief in its potential to endure. Whether Camilla could fully embody these values was a question that time alone could answer. Camilla's journey to acceptance within the royal family was far from straightforward. While she steadily built her role alongside Charles, she continued to face challenges, not just from the public but from within the royal circle. Among these challenges, Princess Anne's guarded stance remained a recurring theme. Yet what made Anne's skepticism unique wasn't just her loyalty to tradition, but her unwavering belief in the responsibilities tied to royal life. For Anne, the monarchy wasn't merely a collection of individuals. It was an institution, one that represented centuries of British history and culture. Every decision, every public appearance carried weight. Camilla's integration into the family, while a personal victory for Charles, was viewed by Anne through a different lens. Could she, with her controversial past, uphold the monarchy's reputation in an era of relentless media scrutiny? These questions became all the more pressing during a particularly tense moment at a royal charity gala. The event, intended to raise funds for a cause close to the family's heart, drew widespread attention from both supporters and critics. Camilla arrived alongside Charles, exuding the confidence of someone who had begun to find her footing. Anne, already present and engaged in conversation with other dignitaries, greeted them with her usual composure. But for those watching closely, there was a distinct air of formality in her demeanor. As the evening unfolded, Anne and Camilla found themselves at the same table, a coincidence that did not go unnoticed by attendees. Their exchanges were polite but brief, leaving room for speculation among guests and inevitably the press. The following day's headlines were predictable, with tabloids dissecting their interactions and painting Anne as the ever-reluctant supporter. For Camilla, these narratives were nothing new. For Anne, they were an unwelcome reminder of the scrutiny the family endured. Yet behind the surface-level observations lay a deeper complexity. Anne's approach to Camilla wasn't rooted in personal animosity, but in her understanding of what it meant to serve the monarchy. Anne had spent decades navigating the expectations of royal life, often sacrificing personal desires for the greater good. Her reservations about Camilla stemmed from a belief that the family's image needed to be above reproach. And in Anne's eyes, Camilla's past, no matter how reformed, presented a challenge to this ideal. Even so, the passage of time brought moments of subtle change. Camilla's increasing involvement in royal duties, from charity work to international tours, began to shift public perception. Slowly but surely, she started to win over critics. Anne, while still reserved in her interactions, appeared to acknowledge Camilla's efforts. One instance of this occurred during a joint appearance at a hospital opening where the two women were seen exchanging smiles, a small but significant gesture in the context of their history. The monarchy itself was evolving during this period. The younger generation, led by William and Harry, brought a modern perspective to royal duties, while Queen Elizabeth maintained her steadfast leadership. For Camilla, this evolution worked in her favor. The focus gradually shifted from her past controversies to her contributions as a royal consort. Anne, ever the pragmatist, seemed to recognize this shift, though her skepticism remained a quiet constant. The relationship between Anne and Camilla was further tested during a high-profile overseas tour. Charles and Camilla, representing the monarchy abroad, were joined by Anne for a series of engagements highlighting British diplomacy and cultural ties. The tour, hailed as a success by officials, showcased the family's ability to work together despite underlying tensions. However, moments of awkwardness between Anne and Camilla did not escape the media's attention. At one point during the tour, the group attended a formal dinner hosted by a foreign dignitary. The seating arrangements, a delicate matter in any royal event, placed Anne and Camilla side by side. While the two women engaged in polite conversation, the contrast in their personalities was evident. Anne's direct, no-nonsense approach stood in stark contrast to Camilla's more reserved demeanor. For observers, this juxtaposition highlighted the complexities of their dynamic, two women navigating their roles within an institution that demanded unity above all else. As the tour concluded, reports of strained interactions surfaced once again. Yet for the monarchy, the ability to present a united front remained paramount. Camilla's growing confidence in her role was evident, as was Anne's commitment to upholding the family's traditions. Their differences, while significant, did not overshadow their shared dedication to the institution they represented. This shared commitment became particularly apparent during the Queen's Jubilee celebrations. The event, marking a milestone in Elizabeth's reign, brought together the entire royal family for a series of public appearances. Camilla, by now more comfortable in her role, participated in the celebrations with grace. Anne, as always, performed her duties with precision. While their interactions remained formal, there was a sense of mutual respect in their shared purpose. Still, the question lingered. Had Anne truly accepted Camilla as a member of the royal family, or was their civility merely a reflection of professional obligation? For those close to the family, the answer wasn't entirely clear. What was evident, however, was that both women understood the importance of their roles. Anne's skepticism, while enduring, seemed to coexist with a recognition of Camilla's growing contributions. Camilla's journey to acceptance was a testament to her resilience. Overcoming the weight of public scrutiny and the legacy of Diana was no small feat. Anne's guarded stance, while a reminder of the challenges Camilla faced, also served as a measure of the progress she had made. Their dynamic, shaped by both personal history and shared responsibility, reflected the complexities of royal life in the modern era. As the monarchy looked toward the future, the roles of its members continued to evolve. Camilla's transformation from controversial figure to queen consort was a narrative that captured the public's imagination. Anne's steadfast dedication to tradition and duty remained a constant, providing a sense of stability amid the changes. Together, their stories formed part of a larger tapestry, a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the royal family. As Camilla grew into her role within the royal family, the scrutiny around her interactions with Princess Anne showed no sign of waning. By this point, their dynamic had become a microcosm of the monarchy's challenges, balancing tradition with modernity, public perception with private realities, and personal dynamics with professional obligations. For Camilla, the stakes were higher than ever, particularly as Charles's eventual ascension to the throne became a looming certainty. The turning point came during a particularly high-profile event, a commemorative service honoring a historic milestone in the monarchy's history. The occasion was steeped in tradition, with the royal family assembling in full regalia. As senior royals, Anne and Camilla were both front and center, their every move analyzed by the press and the public. For Anne, this was familiar territory, but for Camilla, the pressure was palpable. From the moment the service began, it was clear that all eyes were on the two women. Anne, poised and confident, carried herself with the ease of someone who had spent a lifetime in the spotlight. Camilla, though more assured than in her early years, still bore traces of nervousness in her demeanor. As the service unfolded, there were moments of interaction between the two. Brief exchanges that, while polite, lacked the warmth typically associated with familial relationships. For the media, these interactions were a goldmine. Headlines the next day focused on the supposed chill between Anne and Camilla, reigniting speculation about the true nature of their relationship. While some reports painted Anne as unyielding in her skepticism, others highlighted Camilla's perseverance in the face of ongoing scrutiny. The truth, as always, was likely somewhere in between. Behind the scenes, however, the narrative was more nuanced. Anne's approach to Camilla had softened in certain respects, even if her reservations remained. Sources close to the royal family suggested that Anne had come to recognize Camilla's dedication to her role and her unwavering support for Charles. Yet this recognition didn't necessarily translate to a close bond. For Anne, personal feelings often took a back seat to her sense of duty, and this dynamic was no exception. The relationship faced another test during a royal tour marking a significant anniversary of the Commonwealth. This tour was particularly symbolic, representing the monarchy's enduring ties to its member nations. Anne, as one of the most experienced royals, played a leading role in the tour's engagements, while Camilla accompanied Charles in her capacity as his consort. The dual presence of Anne and Camilla at key events underscored the evolving dynamic between the two women. One such event, a cultural reception hosted in a Commonwealth nation, became a focal point for media coverage. Anne, known for her direct and practical approach, immediately immersed herself in conversations with dignitaries and local leaders. Camilla, meanwhile, took a more measured approach, engaging with attendees in a manner that reflected her growing confidence. Observers noted the contrast between the two, describing Anne's demeanor as commanding and Camilla's as approachable. The event culminated in a joint address delivered by Charles, with Anne and Camilla flanking him on either side. The image, widely circulated in the media, symbolized the unity of the royal family despite the underlying tensions. For Camilla, it was a moment of triumph, proof of her ability to stand alongside the most senior royals. For Anne, it was a reminder of the monarchy's broader purpose, representing continuity and stability in an ever-changing world. Still, the differences between Anne and Camilla were evident, particularly in their approaches to public duties. Anne's decades of experience had instilled in her a sense of unshakable confidence, while Camilla's journey was marked by a more gradual process of self-assurance. These differences, while sometimes a source of friction, also highlighted the adaptability of the monarchy. Each woman, in her own way, contributed to its evolving narrative. As the tour progressed, moments of collaboration between Anne and Camilla began to emerge. Joint appearances at cultural sites, charitable institutions, and official ceremonies showcased their ability to work together despite their differences. While their interactions remained formal, there were instances of mutual acknowledgement that hinted at a growing respect. For those observing closely, these moments were significant, signaling a potential shift in their dynamic. The culmination of the tour was a grand state banquet attended by leaders from across the Commonwealth. The event, steeped in tradition and ceremony, required the royal family to present a united front. Anne and Camilla, seated at opposite ends of the table, fulfilled their roles with precision. Their interactions during the evening, though minimal, reflected a sense of professional harmony. For Camilla, this was another step towards solidifying her place within the family. For Anne, it was a testament to her ability to prioritize the monarchy's interests over personal feelings. Upon their return to the UK, the tour was hailed as a success, with widespread praise for the royal family's representation. For Camilla, the positive reception was a welcome validation of her efforts. For Anne, it was a reminder that, despite the complexities of their relationship, the monarchy's strength lay in its ability to adapt and endure. The challenges of their dynamic were perhaps most evident during private family gatherings. While public appearances required a level of decorum and unity, the private sphere often revealed the complexities of royal relationships. For Anne and Camilla, these moments were a mix of civility and subtle tension. Anne's straightforward nature sometimes clashed with Camilla's more reserved approach, creating an undercurrent of unease. Yet both women understood the importance of maintaining harmony, particularly in the presence of the wider family. As Charles's role within the monarchy continued to grow, so too did Camilla's. Her contributions, both public and private, became increasingly visible, earning her a measure of respect within the family. Anne, ever the realist, appeared to acknowledge this progress, even if her guarded stance remained. Their interactions, while not devoid of tension, reflected a shared commitment to the institution they served. By the time of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, the dynamic between Anne and Camilla had taken on a new dimension. The celebrations, marking an unprecedented milestone in the monarchy's history, required the royal family to come together in a show of unity. For Anne, the Jubilee was a moment to honor her mother's legacy and reaffirm the values of the monarchy. For Camilla, it was an opportunity to demonstrate her place within the family and her commitment to its future. Their roles during the Jubilee events reflected their unique contributions to the monarchy. Anne's speeches, brimming with gravitas and conviction, underscored her dedication to royal duty. Camilla's presence, warm and approachable, highlighted her efforts to connect with the public. Together, they represented different facets of the royal family, each vital to its continued relevance. The Queen's Platinum Jubilee marked a turning point not only for the monarchy, but also for the relationships within it. For Camilla, the celebration symbolized a culmination of her journey from outsider to queen consort in waiting. For Princess Anne, it was an opportunity to reflect on her unwavering commitment to royal duty and the enduring legacy of her family. The public watched closely as these two pivotal figures navigated their roles during one of the most significant events in the monarchy's history. Throughout the Jubilee, the interactions between Anne and Camilla were scrutinized as much as the events themselves. Their exchanges, though still formal, seemed to carry a subtle shift in tone. At a garden party hosted as part of the celebrations, the two women were photographed sharing a brief but seemingly amicable conversation. For royal watchers, it was a sign of progress, a moment that hinted at the possibility of a thaw in their relationship. Behind the scenes, however, the complexities of their dynamic remained. Anne's respect for tradition and her belief in the monarchy's moral authority continued to shape her views. Camilla, though more confident in her role, was still navigating the challenges of balancing public expectations with private realities. The Jubilee, while a triumph for the royal family, also underscored the delicate balance required to maintain unity in the face of change. As the monarchy transitioned into a new era, with Charles preparing to take on more responsibilities, the roles of its senior members became increasingly important. For Anne, this meant continuing her tireless work on behalf of the family and the causes she championed. For Camilla, it meant further solidifying her position as Charles's partner and a key figure in the institution. Their paths, though distinct, intersected more frequently as they worked together to support the monarchy's future. One such intersection occurred during a high-profile engagement at a Commonwealth summit. The event, bringing together leaders and representatives from across the globe, highlighted the monarchy's role in fostering diplomatic ties. Anne, a seasoned diplomat in her own right, took charge of many of the proceedings, her experience and confidence shining through. Camilla, by contrast, played a supportive role, engaging with attendees and representing the softer, more personal side of the monarchy. During the summit's closing gala, the two women found themselves seated together, a deliberate arrangement meant to showcase the family's unity. The evening unfolded with a series of speeches and performances, each emphasizing the importance of collaboration and continuity. Anne and Camilla's exchanges, while brief, reflected a shared understanding of their responsibilities. For the audience, the sight of them working together served as a reminder of the monarchy's ability to adapt and endure. Despite these moments of cooperation, the underlying differences between Anne and Camilla persisted. Anne's skepticism, though less overt than in earlier years, was still evident in her reserved demeanor. Camilla, for her part, continued to approach her role with humility and determination, mindful of the scrutiny that accompanied her every move. Their relationship, shaped by decades of history and circumstance, remained a complex and evolving one. The coronation of King Charles III brought these dynamics to the forefront once again. For Camilla, the ceremony was the ultimate affirmation of her place within the monarchy, a moment she had worked tirelessly to achieve. For Anne, it was an occasion to reaffirm her dedication to the institution and its future under her brother's reign. The event, steeped in tradition and grandeur, required the royal family to present a united front, and Anne and Camilla rose to the occasion. As the ceremony unfolded, the media dissected every detail, from the regalia to the interactions between family members. Anne, even the picture of poise, carried out her duties with characteristic precision. Camilla, now queen consort, exuded a quiet confidence that spoke to her years of preparation. Their interactions during the day, though brief, reflected a sense of mutual respect, a recognition of their shared commitment to the monarchy. For many, the coronation marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. It was a moment that symbolized both continuity and change, a reminder of the monarchy's ability to evolve while staying true to its traditions. For Anne and Camilla, it was also a testament to their individual journeys, Anne's as a steadfast defender of royal duty, and Camilla's as a figure who had overcome immense challenges to earn her place within the family. In the years that followed, their relationship continued to be a subject of fascination, while they were never likely to share the warmth of a close friendship. Their ability to work together in support of the monarchy became a defining feature of their dynamic. Anne's guarded respect for Camilla, combined with Camilla's unwavering dedication to her role, reflected the complexities of royal life in a modern world. Ultimately, the story of Anne and Camilla is one of contrasts and convergence. Anne, with her unyielding sense of duty and tradition, represents the enduring stability of the monarchy. Camilla, with her resilience and adaptability, symbolizes its capacity for reinvention. Together, they embody the duality that has allowed the royal family to navigate decades of change and maintain its place on the global stage. For the public, their dynamic offers a glimpse into the inner workings of a family that is both extraordinary and deeply human. Their interactions, shaped by history and circumstance, serve as a reminder that even within the most rigid of institutions, personal relationships play a crucial role. As the monarchy continues to evolve, the legacy of Anne and Camilla's relationship will remain a testament to the challenges and triumphs of balancing tradition with progress. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come that far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.